guys, this is Kristen at Cooking in the County, and today I am making a Swedish meatball. My husband has requested the Swedish meatballs. He's been talking about them forever. I've never made Swedish meatballs. He found me the recipe on Pinterest, so I'm gonna try it. Don't come at me if it's not the authentic type of Swedish meatball. Honestly, we don't care. We're just gonna make the meatballs and we hope they're delicious. So the name of them is Swedish meatballs. If they are like the Swedish meatballs, awesome. If they're not, don't worry about it. Don't get all worried about it. We're just gonna make the meatballs, okay? Here's a list of ingredients you're gonna need to make these delicious Swedish meatballs. You're going to need some plain breadcrumbs, some cream, some dried onion, garlic powder, thyme, allspice, nutmeg, parsley, salt, and pepper. And for the sauce, you're going to need the drippings from the meatballs or 1 stick of butter, some flour, paprika, onion powder, salt and pepper, nutmeg, chicken stock, Worcestershire sauce, and some sour cream. Keep in mind that I'm doubling the recipe today, but for you, you will need 1 pound of ground beef and a half a pound of ground pork. The first thing we're gonna do, and there's a lot of ingredients, guys. This is not one of my quick, get it in on the table type of meals, okay? So keep that in mind. So today I am doubling the recipe because I need meatballs for another recipe later on in the week. So I'm going to be making up those and freezing those, but we're also gonna have meatballs for today as well. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, and this is what I'm gonna do, and I hope I don't really mess up the recipe, but it's supposed to have, for me, I need 2 cups of breadcrumbs, and I didn't have any breadcrumbs. So I took some stovetop stuffing. Let's see if it works. Hopefully I don't mess it up. So those are gonna be my breadcrumbs. So I need 2 cups, so remember, this whole time, I'm doubling this recipe, okay? So 2 cups of breadcrumbs for me. And we're gonna add some cream to it. And I'm gonna keep referring to the recipe because there's a lot going on, so I apologize for that. I need a half a cup of cream that we're gonna put, and we're gonna let this soak while I am doing the rest, okay? That's what we need to do. And I do this with my meatloaf too. So I totally get this. It works awesome. So we're gonna just stir this all in and let this sit. Hopefully I'm not gonna ruin it with the stuffing. So I'm gonna put this in this little bowl. I should have just done it in this bowl to begin with. So I used some half and half. I used a half a cup, and honestly, I feel like I should add just a little bit more, only because it's the stuffing and not the actual breadcrumbs, because we really want them to get mushy. Okay. There. That's what I want. Okay. And we're gonna let that sit, okay? So right here, let it soak up. All right. Next thing we're going to do is the actual meatballs. So once again, I'm doubling the recipe and I'm using 2 pounds of hamburger and 1 pound of sausage to make these meatballs. So squish that in. We buy our hamburger in bulk. I weigh it out for 1 pound, lay it all flat, then freeze it. So that's what this is. So we need 2 pounds of that. I'm gonna use my hands. Don't lose your mind. It's gonna be okay. You're not the ones eating it. My family is, so it's gonna be okay that I use my hands without gloves. It really will be okay. Promise. Okay, so. right, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick and I'm gonna add all the seasonings. So the recipe talks about frying the meatballs in a frying pan and then doing it. I'm gonna actually bake them. I feel like it's quicker and they cook them better in my opinion. So that's what I'm gonna do, okay? So here we go with all of the seasonings and I'm gonna keep referring back. So I need 4 teaspoons of minced dried onion. I need a teaspoon of garlic. I like granulated garlic. I feel like it does make a difference, but maybe it doesn't. It could be just me. So 1 teaspoon of that. And a teaspoon of thyme, ground thyme. I need a teaspoon of parsley. This is parsley that my mom grew in her garden and then dried it. Just a little bit more. I need allspice. A teaspoon of allspice. It's a lot here. Some nutmeg, teaspoon. I think that's it for these. Yep. Okay. Salt, pepper. That's easy. Kind of really want to get a good salting on that because that's a lot of beef. Okay. That's it. So, I feel like I'm supposed to put something else in here. Cream, water. Nope, that's it. Okay. There it all is. Back to my hands, and we're just gonna mush that all in, and then we're gonna add in our breadcrumbs, okay? They want us to mush it all really good first, okay? Get all those seasonings. This does seem a lot, because I am doing it twice. So, hopefully it's delicious. It is like 3 o'clock. We're not gonna eat supper till 5. So I'm gonna make these and make the sauce. I'm gonna bake the meatballs and then I'm gonna put them in the crock pot right on low until supper time. I think it's gonna be fine. Okay, so this is all now soaked up, all of my cream. So now I'm adding breadcrumbs. I hope I don't ruin it by using the stuffing. Hopefully he won't watch my video. He doesn't typically watch my videos, so he won't know the difference. Okay. Get as mixed in as much as possible. You really want this mushed in. So it's gonna take a few minutes. Just take your time. Okay, I think that's mixed good. Definitely wash my hands. Okay, put the ring back on. We are now getting ready to, we're gonna bake our meatballs. A lot of stuff here. I'm gonna put them on a lined cookie sheet. We're gonna bake them at 375 for about 20 minutes until they're done. I'm gonna use a big scoop, but I need to find it. Use this big scoop to make my meatballs. And I'm only using half of this because I need to use this for my other recipe coming up next week. And I'm just gonna use the same mixture of meatballs. So, I'm gonna make these up, get them in the oven. lots of meatballs, nice big size. Obviously they're gonna shrink in the oven. So 375 for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna make up the sauce that's just gonna go. Meatballs are done, all cooked, smell amazing. And I'm gonna transfer these into my warm crock pot, put them on low, and then we're gonna make the sauce that's gonna go on top. Okay, so now we're going to make the sauce to go on the meatballs. According to the recipe, you are supposed to use the grease from the meat, from the meatballs, and mine actually, my hamburger is so lean that it didn't really give me a whole lot of drippings. So I just put a couple tablespoons of butter. So we're gonna do that. So into this little bowl, I have flour. I'm gonna have all of this in the ingredients. Paprika, salt, pepper, garlic, nutmeg, and onion powder. And once this is all melted, we're gonna add this to that. Basically just making a roux. And you kind of want that to cook down for a good minute. People talk about always making sure that you cook down your flour so it doesn't taste, so you don't taste the flour. I've honestly never tasted flour in any of that because it's gonna be cooking all the time, like with your meatballs and stuff. So I don't think there's much danger of us tasting the flour, but we're gonna cook it down. And we're gonna be adding some Worcestershire sauce. And I am, once again, doubling the ingredients because we want lots of sauce, because I'm gonna be serving it with egg noodles. I'm sure that that is not correct with Swedish meatballs. I think you're supposed to be doing mashed potatoes, but this is my kitchen. I'm just doing me. So we're gonna do egg noodles with it. So I'm adding 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Get that all mixed in. And then I am adding, like I said, I'm doubling everything, so this is totally up to you. I'm gonna do it. I'm adding 6 cups of chicken broth. I'm just add a little bit at a time and get it worked in. Okay, it's finally starting to thicken up some. So we're gonna add a little bit more, or probably all of the chicken broth at this point. And we're gonna bring that to a boil. And then we're gonna be adding some sour cream. This cook again, sorry, the dogs. And we're gonna let it boil for about a minute. Then we're gonna add some sour cream. This literally took like 5 minutes to boil. And it's just now finally thickening up to a point that it's probably okay to now add the sour cream. It took forever, holy cow. I'm not sure why it took so long, but it finally came to a boil and it's starting to get a little bit thick, okay? It's kind of a browny tan color. I'm assuming because of all the spices. So I'm gonna take it off the heat. I'm gonna add my sour cream, but I wanna do it kind of slow because I don't wanna curdle it. So I'm gonna do a little bit at a time. Certainly only make this recipe if you have lots of time. Mixing in well. It's just gonna take some time, I guess. I finally got it all incorporated without it curdling. Now we gotta bring it up to a boil again and let it boil for at least 1 minute. It's not incredibly thick. It's kind of quite runny, but I'm sure I did something wrong, but that's okay. It's not like it's not gonna taste good. So we're gonna sit here and stir some more. And hopefully this thickens up a little bit so we can pour it over the meatballs. I know this is supposed to be kind of a thick, creamy sauce, and right now it is not. So we're gonna see. Okay, this took forever to thicken up, and it's still really not as thick as I would like it to be, but it took almost 8 minutes, almost 10 minutes, honestly. I mean, it's not thick, but if I put it on a spoon, I draw a line, it says it's thick enough. Tastes good, I guess. I think we need a little more salt. And I'm gonna pour this all over the meatballs in the crock pot that's on low. We're gonna eat in an hour. It's gonna be perfectly fine. And we're gonna put it over some egg noodles, and I'll let you know how it turns out. Okay, everything is done. I just cooked the egg noodles. It's now time. So like I said, you serve this how you want. We're doing egg noodles. So we're gonna do egg noodles. And these beautiful meatballs. This took a long time to do, but I think it's gonna be worth it. I think it's gonna be really yummy. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna try it real quick. Try some noodles. That sauce is very flavorful, very yummy. Try a meatball. Very warm, comforting, beautiful flavors. The meatball is amazingly moist. Guys, you need to try it. It's probably the best meatballs I've ever made or tasted, so I think you need to try it. I know it took a long time to make it, but it's really worth it. So try these Swedish meatballs. Not sure what's coming up next, but there'll be something coming up next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know if you have tried any of these recipes and if you like them. Okay guys, thanks. See you next week.